What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and yeah, let's get to it. The box office prediction for Top Gun Maverick. All right, so we know that Top Gun Maverick was supposed to come out a couple of years ago, back in 2020, and it finally gets its release date, May 27 this year. In about a couple of days, it's going to be out. I know that I'm going to be checking in to see this movie. I know a lot of folks out there are also going to be checking this thing out. This thing is getting really good, positive word of mouth right off the bat. We saw that on the Top Gun Maverick Rotten Tomato score reviews that we did a little bit earlier. I'll go ahead and link that video up if you haven't caught that. But yeah, now we're going to go ahead and see what is the box office look like for this particular film and what can we expect. So of course we go, as always, to Box Office Pro, where all the movie fans go. Long range box office forecast for Top Gun Maverick and Bob's Burgers, which is actually coming out this week as well. So let's go ahead and check this out. We're going to read through our pros and cons. This is what we normally do. By the way, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and drop down, give me a like, give me a subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. I really appreciate all the supporters and all the support I'm getting. Seeing a lot of positive comments really means a lot to me, you guys. Thank you so much. All right, let's get to it. Top Gun Maverick, let's see what we got for the pros and the cons. So first up, the pros. The original 1986 film is a pop culture classic. I mean, everybody knows that, right? This film was absolutely magical back in the 80s. You know, I was reminiscing with T about this. When we first saw it, you know, it was kind of like, I don't really know. You know, I went to see Short Circuit the week that it came out. But then later on, I saw it. And again, if you're a kid from the 80s or even maybe the 90s, you know, you might have remembered this film, you know, growing up. And, you know, it's been on television tons of times. It is an absolute classic. Most people remember it for the beach volleyball scene, for, you know, the songs at the bar. A lot of that kind of stuff will definitely be a part of this film. So I think that it's going to, you know, be, you know, one of the more successful films of this year. And it says it right there, and you can see it cemented Tom Cruise's growth as one of the most enduring Hollywood stars. I mean, Hollywood right now needs living legend types like Tom Cruise to step in. Every time you see a Brad Pitt or a Tom Cruise or a Leo DiCaprio step on screen, it's going to get some, you know, major noise. People are going to be paying attention to that, and this film will be no different. It even says here, like, you know, at its time, 177 million in its original domestic run. It would have had 475 million if we adjusted it for inflation today. Top Gun Maverick has consistently driven strong social media and trailer traction. Absolutely. The trailers have been phenomenal. The first one dropped, it says there, back in 2019. And yeah, it's been a hot commodity ever since then. So I expect that people who have been waiting, how long have I waited, you know, to watch this film for the last couple of years? People are going to really be coming out to say, hey, I can't wait to see this. It has a lot of nostalgia. Of course, it has Cruise's trademark real-world stunts and the in-camera capture of the dazzling action scenes. Those trailers really have blown me away in terms of what they could do with, you know, special effects and graphics, and then the flights, of course. You know, back in the 80s, you know, that Top Gun stuff was all right. I mean, this stuff is just mind-blowing as to the in-camera, you know, how they're getting deep inside the cockpit and showing all the different things that these planes were able to do. So I think that's going to be a huge plus for people coming out to see it. Obviously, it has a strong ensemble cast, but this is a really important point, I thought. It's definitely moving it for women over 35 and their return to movie theaters this year. You know, we discussed that when we were talking about The Lost City, that, you know, now that the pandemic is kind of over, where are the women landing? You know, what films are they coming to see? Well, it says here, The Lost City, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 had a lot of women and mothers coming in to see those two films, and those two films did pretty good. Lost City picked up some steam down the stretch. And of course, Sonic the Hedgehog, one of the most successful video game franchises in history. So yeah, I think that that's a very good point that it makes. It continues to make that point here, where it says that when you watch Mission Impossible Fallout, most of the people that watch that film were also in the 35 and up range. And of course, you know, the female, 45% female demographic. It mentions also, of course, here that Generation X, you know, my generation is coming. They're definitely checking for this film. I think this is, you know, going to be a huge huge film for the 35 and up crowd. So yeah, overall, pretty good pros. Now let's go ahead and check out some of the cons. The reviews and the word of mouth will be key. Yeah, it's going to be key, and we're going to check that because it has actually been a lot higher than maybe some people expected. So you have reviews and word of mouth coming in very, very strong for this. So, I mean, this is actually turning this con into an absolute pro. We'll check that out in just a second. It also mentions here that the CinemaCon screening, is played for a crowd of mostly over 35ers. Okay. And, it says here, while the reactions were strong and could make for a lot of potential, we must also weigh the lingering possibilities that this film may play more like a James Bond film to an under 35 and under 25 consumers. Now, this is T's argument. He's basically saying that the younger generation really isn't checking for this thing because they're younger. This didn't resonate with them. Nobody wants to grow up and be a fighter pilot nowadays. That's pretty much what T's argument is. And then he even, kind of furthers that, saying that, the patriotism and everything that's going on right now in the world, you have a left-right divide where people come out to see, a film like this. Yeah, I think the under 35 crowd is going to be a question mark, but I have something for that. We're going to get to that. And then, of course, Jurassic World Dominion is coming in the film's third weekend. So it's going to have 2 weeks as a run-up, and then Jurassic World will drop in, and then that's going to have a huge impact on the box office. But let's go ahead and check out this first one right here, talking about the word of mouth and the reviews. And we saw this when I did my Top Gun, review, that the percentage was 96%. So where do you think it's at right now? It's gone up. It's going in the other direction, 97% right now. And this is after 155 reviews. Certified fresh is 3 percentage points away from being perfect, and of course we went through it. We looked at all of the different, it's just like tomato. It's hard to find, oh, there's a splat. It's hard to find a splat in this thing. And remember, even some of the splats that we saw on that review, this one doesn't seem very positive, but even some of the splats that we saw in the review when we were looking at them were still positive. So overall, this thing is getting rave reviews. It's very, very positive. I don't see, you just see tomato after tomato after tomato. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to a new segment that I plan on having right now.
Because this movie is almost 40 years too late, I see a Wall Street 2. I see a box office flop. I see a Basic Instinct 2. This is not going to do well. The generation that's into this, I don't see kids want to grow up saying, I want to be a fighter pilot. It's just not going to transition well. You can't have a macho movie. This is a macho movie about, I'm macho.
All right, so here we go. A new segment that we're going to start right now. Why T is wrong. He's often wrong about a lot of stuff that he says, but we're going to keep it real. We're going to break it down just so this guy right here can understand, hey, this is the stuff you're missing. And I try to talk to him, and you still don't understand it. So let's go on and look through this. All right. Number one is star power. Okay, we're talking about Tom freaking Cruise. This guy is a living legend out there. You saw the reaction to that Mission Impossible trailer that just dropped yesterday, right? That Mission Impossible trailer dropped. Perfect timing, by the way, to Paramount. Hats off to you guys. Perfect timing for that Mission Impossible trailer to drop the same week that Top Gun Maverick is about to let loose. And everybody's like, oh man, I'm definitely coming to check this movie out. Because why? Because that trailer looked absolutely spectacular. The Top Gun trailers have also looked absolutely spectacular. So star power, hey, look, they got it, right? They got it in this film with Tom Cruise. People are definitely going to come see this. So star power is 100% a plus in this regards. All right, what's the next thing that T just keeps overlooking? All right, sequel power. All right, and we talked about that as well. People have been waiting for this particular sequel, at least for the last 2 years, and for some folks, maybe even longer, because Top Gun was a very popular movie. I feel the need for speed. Everybody loves that line. Everybody talks about this movie. Folks like Top Gun. Sequels mean a lot. They still mean something. That connectivity, okay? I want to see what happened after the movie that I fell in love with and I enjoyed. That was an icon for a generation. And I can't wait to see what happens next. So people are definitely coming out to check for the sequel to Top Gun Maverick. Definitely a green check on that. All right, so what's next? It opens Memorial Day weekend. I mean, like, come on. What are we talking about here? This thing is going to open up on Memorial Day weekend. Everybody's going to be off this weekend, you know, hanging out at the beach, checking out the fireworks, doing all kinds of fun stuff with their families and friends. People are definitely going to say, hey, man, let's take about 2 or 3, 4 hours or whatever. Let's head over here and let's check out Top Gun. Are you kidding me? People are definitely going to be checking to see this movie this particular weekend. And it's got a long weekend, a big holiday weekend, and it's a Memorial Day. It's all about patriotism. You think people aren't going to be patriotic on Memorial Day weekend? Gee, you crazy, bro. You crazy. It is absolutely going to be a huge success just because it's opening up this particular weekend. Everybody's getting ready for this. All right, what else? Oh, it's a summer movie. Duh. Yeah, summer movies always have a very strong showing, or the strongest showing that it could possibly have. And remember, we also looked at the fact that in summer 2022, there's not a lot of movies out. We did a whole segment on movies with the homies on that, and I'll go ahead and pin that up here as well. There's only about maybe 35 or 40 summer movies coming out this particular year. So yeah, Top Gun is going to be definitely one of them. Guess what? People are going to come out and see this film, okay? There's not going to be a whole lot left to compete with it, okay? We know that Jurassic World is down the line and maybe way off in the distance for Love and Thunder. But outside of that, what are we talking about? You know, if you come into the movies and a movie that's getting rave reviews like this one is, you're going to check it out. All right, and then finally, the last little green check that shows why T is wrong. No streaming, okay? Tom Cruise, yeah, he says, oh, y'all think y'all about to do that streaming stuff with my film? Think again. Tom Cruise has already stated, hey, look, this thing is going to be in theaters. We're not doing a 35, 45-day release and then we'll send it off. We're not going 2 months, maybe 60 days, and then we'll shuffle it off. Nope, we gonna ride this thing till the wheels fall off. I have a feeling this thing is gonna be in theaters at least a good 90 days. So it's just gonna be picking up money all the way through summer, probably all the way up until August. Okay, they'll have this thing in theater doing whatever it can do, and then after all of that, then they'll kick it out all obviously to, you know, streaming service. Paramount Plus more than likely will get the first crack at it, and then, you know, VOD and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's it. You know, no streaming. Look at these green checks. You telling me that this film is not going to do dynamite numbers? Give me a break. All right, so that's why T is wrong. Let's go ahead and get to my predictions. What do I think this film is going to do? Will it do $1 billion? Will it do $1 billion? $1 billion? Woo! Let's take a look. All right, folks, so here we go. To make it or break it numbers for Top Gun Maverick, $152 million budget. Not bad. Not bad at all. That means it only needs $380 million to break even. I have a feeling that that's not going to be a problem whatsoever with Top Gun. We saw, like, if the original Top Gun had came out, they were saying it would have done $475 million. We saw that on the box office pro breakdown. So yeah, I think 380, no problem at all. It's probably going to end up somewhere way above that, you know, but look what it has in its way. We got a film here, Jurassic World Dominion. We said that that's going to come out in a couple of weeks, so that's going to be a problem for it. It's only going to have basically 2 weeks of run up. I think that probably will be enough to break even the 2 weeks that it gets to run up. It'll probably be enough to break even on the worldwide scale. And then, of course, this old man that you see in this picture, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that series drops this weekend as well. So that's going to interfere with people who, you know, maybe, you know, have time. It's like, hey, man, you know, I got time, but my entertainment time is going to go to this Obi-Wan series because they're dropping 2 episodes, not 1, but 2. So they're saying, you know, maybe I'll catch Top Gun next weekend. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's going to have some interference in time in terms of what people are doing for entertainment over this particular weekend. That might hurt its numbers slightly, but I think overall this film is going to be very, very profitable. Here's what I got for the overall projection. So I did a comparison film. You know, we always do a comparison film to see what it may be close to comparing with. I said Mission Impossible Fallout. I think that that's the closest I can find to a comparison. So you can see what Mission Impossible Fallout did for the domestic run as well as a worldwide total. $22 million Friday night, opening weekend of $61 million, a domestic total of $220, and then a worldwide total of $791. Fallout was definitely a bigger international hit than it was a domestic hit, you know, by comparison to what I think Top Gun is going to do. So here you go, $45 million on Friday. You got an opening weekend of 106. And I think that's probably likely, although it could come underneath that. But nevertheless, I think $106 million this particular opening weekend is probably in the cards. Then you have a domestic total of $280 million and then a worldwide of $730. So yeah, I think this film will do a bit better domestically than Mission Impossible Fallout. But overall, the worldwide scale, yeah, I think worldwide, Top Gun Maverick is going to come below Mission Impossible Fallout. All right, so that'll do it. Those are my predictions, folks. You tell me what you think. So yeah, just again, going back to what folks have been saying about this film. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, how do you go wrong with that? At this point, I think Top Gun Maverick is going to be a smashing success. I have it at $730 million on the worldwide scale overall. What do you guys have it at? Go ahead, drop down in the comments. Give me your opinions on that. If you want to rank them with me, give me the Friday opening, the opening weekend, the domestic total, and the worldwide total. Go ahead and drop those 4 down there, and we'll see who's right. All right, folks, I want to thank you for watching. See you next time.